Hey! Hi, how you doing? This is Ryan, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. I have once again returned, back from laboring in the mines of 9-to-5 retail. While work on my top 10 favorite video games of 2020 free video is still underway, slowly but surely, recently I decided to take a little break from making my way through my 2020 free video game backlog, in order to take some time so that I could experience video game history in the making. The revival, the resurrection, the re-release of Gigantic. Now, believe it or not, I actually played a bit of Gigantic back when it first came out in 2017, when it was only playable on PC via the Windows Store. Oh man. PC gamers moan about the Epic Game Store, but I'm sorry, I will take the Epic Game Store over the Windows Game Store. Full stop. Anyways, back on topic, I played a little bit of Gigantic back in the day, and really liked what I played. Unfortunately, I was busy playing other games at the time, doing other things, etc, etc. Life happens. So before Gigantic was tragically shut down, I never really got a chance to fully invest myself in the game and see everything it had to offer. However, despite the short amount of time I got to spend with Gigantic years ago, I knew it was something special. The art style, the character designs, the whole premise of two teams battling each other so that they can empower these giant guardian beasts to fight each other. Gigantic is clearly inspired and overflowing with passion. Sure, we've had other hero shooters and third-person action MOBAs, but none of them looked, felt, or played quite like Gigantic. Sure, I fancy a bit of Smite, and I greatly enjoyed Paragon back in the day before it met the same fate as Gigantic. R.I.P. Paragon. Here's hoping Predecessor can live up to its, predecessor. The first-person and third-person MOBA hero shooter genre is a graveyard littered with shut-down games, shattered dreams, and unrealized potential. So when I heard about Gigantic Rampage Edition, I almost didn't believe it at first. This shit rarely ever happens in the video game industry. Usually when a multiplayer game gets shut down, it's gone for good, it's dead, it's buried, it's lost to time and history, because the video game industry has a severe issue with historical preservation. But yet, there it was, Gigantic. With a new team of developers comprised of many of the original developers under a brand new publisher, Gigantic was indeed being re-released into the world. But not only was Gigantic coming back with all of its original content, but with brand new content to boot! New maps? New playable characters? A new game mode? A new progression system? This is a goddamn gaming miracle. And honestly, I'm just so happy, so very happy for the Gigantic community. There are thousands of people who love and adore this game. It's their favorite multiplayer game, and for years they believed they would never be able to play one of their favorite video games ever again, and yet here it is. I'm just so happy for the Gigantic community. I hope you guys are all having fun. As for myself, after having sunk almost 20 hours into the game, I have to say, I see why so many of you love this game so dearly. I see what I was missing out on. Gigantic Rampage Edition has become one of my favorite PvP multiplayer games of all time. Keep in mind, this is coming from someone who generally isn't fond of PvP multiplayer and prefers PvE games. But Gigantic, it just feels so good to play, and it's just so much fun to play that I don't care if I win or lose a multiplayer match, I just enjoy the experience of playing the game. And to top it all off, Gigantic Rampage Edition is just a great deal. Just a straightforward one-and-done purchase of 26 Canadian dollars and you get the whole game. There are no microtransactions. Yes, you heard me correctly. A PvP multiplayer game released in 2024 that doesn't have any additional monetization, just a one-and-done purchase and you get the whole game. Shocking that that's a rarity nowadays. But wait! There's more! A fully functional and fleshed out custom match feature that lets you play solo against bots? Yes indeed, Gigantic has bot matches! Yes! Just ticking all my boxes. So I can easily state without hesitation that Gigantic Rampage Edition is pro-consumer. It's fairly priced and you are absolutely getting your money's worth. But hell, more than just getting your money's worth, you're getting a worthwhile gaming experience. Gigantic features so many of the best qualities that I love to see from video games: imagination, creativity, visual and audio spectacle, and the means to live out various fantasies. There's just so much about Gigantic to talk about and praise. Oh, right off the bat, I have to give credit to the new player experience. The multiple tutorials and guides are excellent, taking you step by step through all of the mechanics and rules. And I simply adore the training area. Not only is it just brimming with color and charm, but it is such an excellent playground to mess around and try out all the different heroes and experiment with their abilities and their movesets. Just learning how to play the game is a fun experience. By the time I started my first PvP multiplayer match, I didn't feel overwhelmed or out of my depth. I was able to just play and participate and contribute to the team. And my oh my, there are so many different ways to contribute, with a colorful, varied, and diverse cast of 25 different playable characters. And I'm gonna say this right off the bat, these are some of the best and most fun characters I've ever played as in one of these MOBA hero shooter-esque games. The amount of playstyle diversity is truly ludicrous. Every single character felt completely different and made me feel like I was playing a brand new, different video game. For example, if you play as a ranged DPS character like Beckett or HK206, you're basically playing a fast-paced third-person shooter. But then, if you play as a character like Trip or Tito the Swift, you're all of a sudden playing Ninja Gaiden or Devil May Cry, a fast-paced third-person melee action game. You name a playstyle from any other action game or RPG or MOBA, Gigantic's got a character to fit that role with their own unique spin on it. Now, I know this is already obvious and doesn't really need mentioning, because anyone with eyes who isn't blind can clearly see for themselves that Gigantic is also just an absolutely visually beautiful game. Even though this game originally came out in 2017, the art style and the character designs, they're just as gorgeous as ever, a timeless beauty. Characters like Tito, Oru, and Vodin are just so visually striking and jam-packed with detail. Then we have characters like Griselma and Uncle Sven, who are just so cartoonishly goofy that they're charming. Then we have characters like the Margrave, Zenobia, Charnock, Tiamat, and my personal favorite Kajir that just look so fucking badass. And then, of course, there's Paco, the most adorable bundle of fur you have ever seen in your life. He's just so cute and fluffy. Paco is easily best boy. I know I'm a broken record at this point, but these characters are just overflowing with creativity, imagination, and passion. I love how you can just look at these characters, look at their designs, their outfits, their weapons, and it tells a whole story on its own. For example, just look at the character of Mazu and read her character description. Wizards could refuse to teach the little goblin, but they couldn't stop Mazu from stealing their wands. Via this little bit of story background and just Mazu's overall character design, you immediately form an idea as to the character's personality and their playstyle. Based on what's presented here, it's pretty easy to come to the conclusion that Mazu is a little trickster who loves magic. It's just intuitive, smart design and character creation. And once again, keep in mind, there's 25 different playable characters to pick from. I've put almost 20 hours into this game, and I've still only scratched the surface. There's a bunch of characters I haven't even tried out yet, which will undoubtedly add dozens of more hours of unique gameplay experiences. Another piece of content that I absolutely have to praise are the maps found in Gigantic. Like Gigantic's cast of characters, its multiplayer maps are just as diverse, varied, creative, and bursting with imagination. Each of them colorful, packed to the brim with detail, and exploring different fantastical themes. But all that is just aesthetics. The actual layout and designs of these maps are brilliant, surprisingly vertical, allowing for a constant variety of unique engagements, flanking opportunities, and, if you practice hard enough, pull off some pretty impressive movement tech. God, I can't get over how brilliantly designed this game is. Every aspect of this game is so well designed. All the systems surrounding the guardians, the creatures, accumulating power, initiating a rampage. It all flows so well into one another to constantly keep the player in the action, making worthwhile and interesting decisions, and providing countless opportunities for impressive team play. I cannot recommend Gigantic Rampage Edition enough. It has won me over, it has stolen my heart, it is now officially one of my favorite multiplayer games of all time. I now finally understand why so many deeply love Gigantic, because I love it now too. Very much looking forward to all of the free future content updates for the game, and I will very much be keeping my eye on whatever developer Abstraction Games and publisher Arc Games have planned for the future. And I hope all of you, when you can and if you can afford it, will check out Gigantic Rampage Edition for yourself. Make time to check out and play the game amongst your busy schedule of playing Fallout 4, Stardew Valley, Helldivers 2, and Baldur's Gate free. The original Gigantic and its new Rampage Edition are an important part of video game history and video game preservation. It's rare that we see a multiplayer game come back from the dead and be restored and playable after it was thought to be lost forever. Gigantic is a miracle, and it goes to show you that sometimes wishes really can come true. Congratulations to the developers. Congratulations to the Gigantic community. I am genuinely so happy for all of you. Anyways, that's been a video. Thank you for watching. If you did indeed like the video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment. If you want to help out and support the video, please consider sharing it on social media, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, and maybe a few Discord servers. And if you want to help out and support me directly, please consider using the Super Thanks feature here on YouTube, or by clicking on the links to my Buy Me a Coffee and Ko-Fi pages and donating that way. Links in the description down below. Anyways, once again, that's been a video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.